Hey guys, it's Randy. Want to come on and film this journal for you that I posted yesterday. I'm sorry it's taken me so long with Hurricane Michael coming through. We've had a lot of mess, trees down and all that good stuff, so we've been pretty busy. We actually just got power just now. It's Sunday night, I guess about 8 o'clock-ish, 9 o'clock-ish, something like that. I don't know what time it is. Anyway, all of our clocks are messed up. So, hopefully this won't take too long, but I wanted to answer a few questions that I had regarding this flower. So, I haven't done a tutorial on it. I probably won't. It's really easy. You guys don't need a tutorial. I will explain how I did it, but somebody asked me about my inspiration for that flower, and it's right here. This journal is sitting on it. I had gone to an estate sale a while back and purchased this really gorgeous piece, and somebody had explained to me that it was an antique bed covering. I'm assuming that it was decorative because, as you can see, it's really thin, and this is actually doubled. I have it sitting here on my table. And it's just beautifully aged. It was really fragile though. Here's another one of the flowers. So I really didn't feel bad about cutting this flower off in particular because the edge that it was on was kind of dry rotting. So they didn't give me a date, but they did tell me that it was antique and it was used for a bedding cover of some sort. I don't know. So, I don't want this video to be too long. It's really late. Got to get ready for work trip tomorrow and all that jazz. And now I finally get to do laundry. Whoop, whoop. So here we go. The flower. Let me pull this closer to us. I've got something behind it to set it up because this book is so chunky, you guys. I don't want to take like 5 hours to go through it, but I do want to explain things. So here is the flower under here. I have glued it on because I was afraid that if I sewed it to anything that the material in here would tear. And so I didn't want it to do that because it is antique and it is fragile. And even though these, weren't coming apart, I didn't want to chance it. So I glued this on using Fabri-Tac. So I don't think it's going to go anywhere. But what I started doing is initially I put this Battenberg lace on a book cover that I had gutted. And that's usually how I do my journals. When I first started out, that was what I figured the easiest way to do it until I figured everything out. And so this is one of those that I've done that way as well. So really what I did is after I got that on, it's really pretty by itself, but I don't know about you. I don't like things to be flat or one-dimensional. I like things to be nice and fluffy and three-dimensional and have some texture to it. So I started adding layers and I played around with it for a little while. I've got a doily under here. I cut up some some eyelet lace, and I just put them, it's just one little piece of eyelet, and that's a separate piece, and that's a separate piece, and I just strategically placed those to give it a little interest. Added some burlap, some fun fur, because I thought it softened that burlap up a little bit, and then added a little tiny doily here, and one of those satin roses. I see them around every now and then. They're pre-made, a rolled rose. It's really pretty. So I did that. I glued all of that on in layers. It's very secure. It shouldn't come off. And I thought it needed something. And so I started digging through my beads and things and, trying to place them on there. Nothing would look right. I tried to add some bling and that looked dumb. So I found this necklace in my stash, and it has some pretty mother of pearl dangles. Here's some capiz shell maybe and some other little things. And I just kind of, laid it up in there and to see how it would look. And it looked really cool. So I've attached it up in there in this flower so it will stay. And I just thought that it brought a whole lot of dimension to the flower, and it just took it to a whole other level. So that's how all that came about. These are some little tiny rolled roses made of foil and with some little pearls on there. I actually got these from an estate sale as well, from a lady who used to make doll clothes, and she had the most exquisite little things, because, you know, some of the dolls, I guess, were small. I have a few pieces of her doll clothing. I mean, the stuff is so old. It's gorgeous, though. It's just gorgeous. So I take pieces every now and then, and I incorporate it into something. But I found a whole stash of these, and I thought they would look really pretty in junk journals. So that's the cover. This Battenberg lace was actually a pillowcase that I cut up and covered, if I hadn't said that already. So here's, you know, it goes all the way around the book. And then I added this tassel. I'm not very good at tassel making. This is my first tassel that I've ever made. This actually came already pre-made, and it had these sparklies coming down from it. And I thought that was going to be pretty on here, and then it was too harsh for it, too sparkly, too dressy for it. So I added some lace, some yarn, I think there's some fun fur in there, yeah, and some ribbon, and then just some little silk strips from some material that I had, and it softened it up a lot. So I thought, now it finally looks like it belongs there. So I don't want to take too long to do this flip through, guys. I'm going to tell you right before I open the book, we're already at 7 minutes. So I didn't use a paper pack loyally. I just pulled papers that I liked. I've got tracing paper, some vellum, some dictionary pages. There's a lot of layering, collaging in here, some stamping, things of that nature, a lot of lace, a lot of vintage things in here, some buttons and all kinds of stuff. So, oh, I forgot. This closure is, I put both of these strands on the back, and so you just wrap it around and close it over here on the right side, like that. It's just some lace with some organza ribbon. You can see that. All right, so let's get in here. This is 4 signatures. This is your standard novel size. I don't know what size that is because I forgot to measure it because I've been so distracted today, so I apologize. You know, if you go to get a novel at the bookstore, that's what size it is. So I've just put some cardstock, or not cardstock, some scrapbook paper in the front to line the front of the book. I put some material here to reinforce the spine of it so it won't fall apart, and then just kind of softened it up with some lace here. The first signature is a collage of sorts, and I had this in here with the paper clip, and it doesn't like to stay on sometimes. I've tried doing this video about 800 times between my husband walking in, my daughter walking in, her friends walking in, the power coming back on, the dogs, you know, you guys know how it goes. You know, I've started this thing 800 times, it feels like, and so when I went through the first time, I took this off and I wasn't able to get it back on, so that's why it's loose. So here is a little pocket made out of scrapbook paper, and I just hooked this little collage of material on here with some little lace and some and a button. I did sew that together. This was one of the first things that I was doing when I was figuring out junk journaling, and I am not an expert at this, guys. I am so new at this. I'm still very green and in awe of everybody who does junk journaling. I just watch everybody's videos and their tutorials and their techniques, and have learned so much through all of that. I mean, it's unbelievable. It takes a while to get the hang of it. You know, you do your first one, and then you go back and you look at it later and you kind of laugh at yourself. So I've gone through that process off camera, you know, before I felt confident enough to actually post one. So this is the second one that I have posted. The other one was already purchased before I posted it. So I hope you guys will like this one. Oh, okay, 10 minutes already. All right, let's get moving. So this is just a plain card that I sewed some lace on. It's got a little button. It's, I don't know what the name of this painting is, but I love it. Ballerina. I think it's Monet or Van Gogh, one of the two. Really pretty art, but I thought that went really well with her. This is a little transfers from Tim Holtz. I thought that lady was really pretty, so I put it on there. Behind here, there's this lace is actually another pocket, just on this side, so you could put something in there. And then this is just a little collage. Let me get in the middle here. I wanted to make sure that you guys could see that flower. So all the paper is coffee dyed in here, and then I have kind of grunged it up a little bit more. This is just some scrapbook paper with some gesso on it and some distressing on it to make it a little bit darker. It says Junk Journal Love with a little paper clip and a little collage. There's some sewing in here too. I got a sewing machine and got inspired watching everybody sew their junk journals. It just went crazy. So there's lots of stitching in here, lots of different stitching. Was trying everything, and I just thought that ended up being a really cool effect in here. I did the blue thread, you know, on the lighter color pages. This one is so funny to me. It looks like eyebrows. Reminds me of my daughter. She's like a freak about her eyebrows. She cracks me up. I don't know what it is with eyebrows and kids now, or teenagers, or I don't know, even adults. They're freaks about their eyebrows. It's so funny. A collage on some music paper. It's kind of a love theme. You know, if you look at the things through here, it says, "My heart, ever faithful." It's an aria. This is just a little collage of some paper that I had left over, and I kind of ripped it and then distressed the edges and just kind of stuck it together, and I thought it looked really pretty. I sewed it on. This is actually an old curtain that I had that I never used, and I saw it in the packaging and I liked the coloring on it, and so I started cutting it up, and it gives a really good texture effect. Here's just a little grouping of some papers that I distressed up, some little tiny tidbits of scrapbook paper, you know, that you have left over when you're doing stuff, attached with some fun fur. Really cool stitch. It kind of looks Aztec-y. I really like that stitch. Here's a doily with a little some fabric and a little flower with some ribbon, and I've got a little pearl dangling from there. There's some more journaling space with looks like a vine stitch. Just a little collage with part of a doily and some dictionary page and a belly band. Here's a doily. A handkerchief. I struggle so much with handkerchiefs because I hate to not use the whole thing. Like, what do y'all do with your handkerchiefs? I love the edges, but what do you do with the middle of them? Maybe I can use it like on a journal cover or something, but I don't know. I feel so bad just using part of it. I'd like to know what everybody does with theirs. So if you have something cool that you do with yours, please let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear your ideas. This page is just kind of a overall collage. I was watching Gen of Eve. I think it's a play on Genevieve, which I thought was really cute. But she does a lot of tutorials. She has like her own template packs that she has created, and I think she sells them, and she does the whole shebang tutorial with you online to create a a book. And I was watching her one day and saw this little technique where she kind of cut this and you cut your corner. You know, I'm not good at tutorials. That's why I won't be doing one. You'll see here. It's because half the time I can't talk on YouTube. I lose my brain. So I made a little corner pocket here. And, you know, instead of gluing it down, I sliced it down the middle. I watched her. And it looks like a little collar, like a little shirt collar. And, you know, you'd leave it open right here. And I put a little music paper behind there. I think she did something else. Hers was kind of florally. And then she was making these hat pins. And I was like, oh my gosh, that is adorable. And so, of course, I had to go try it and make some, and I did, and I liked it a lot because I love beads and sparklies. You'll see that anything that sparkles, I mean, you know, it will derail me in an instant because I love it so much, no matter what I'm doing. So I just kind of stuck that in there. I thought that was the cutest idea of her. Again, Jen of Eve on YouTube, if you want to go check her out. This is just a little notepad again of some little scraps. I have so many scraps from doing this that I just feel bad leaving them. So I put a little brad on there, some fun fur, some bling. You know, I can't just leave it plain. Heaven forbid. Some scrapbook paper collage over here with some music, a little flower. Let me make sure we're in frame here. I got this stand thingy, or I don't know, for my phone so that I can do videos, and it's really cool and it does a good job, but sometimes I can't see what I'm looking at. So some of you might have seen it. I actually purchased something from Facebook, which, you know, is you never know if you're going to get it or not, but I bought the socialite, and it's got a little light on it and a stand and everything, and I really, really like it. So here's a little collage down here. Oh, my dog. Here we go again, guys. I am not stopping, okay? I'm going to keep going. She's just going to have to bark. This is a napkin that I didn't technically decoupage on here. When I use the Mod Podge, I don't like the way it curls up your paper. And you have to do it on both sides, and then it's shiny, and I don't like it. Like, even the mat's a little shiny. So I took a glue stick and stuck up the backing, and then I put the napkin over it. And guys, it turned out so good. I don't know if other people do that, but it, you know, it's got the no sheen on it. So it's just like it's the napkin, and it turned out really pretty. So we've got some paper over here. This paper was aged up really good, and so I put some washi here to stop it from, I don't know, it's kind of crinkling at the edges or whatever, and I've reinforced it over here. Here's some antique lace with some yarn bow, and this yarn is actually in the tassel. So over here we've just got a pocket with some lace, some Tim Holtz paper, and a journaling card, and then a little journaling tag that was supposed to be for journaling, but I couldn't leave it like that. I just had to put some lace on the back of it because I'm extra. That's what my daughter says. She calls me extra. Some journaling space, some lace, seam binding. That is vintage. I got it out of the actual little vintage pack. I thought that was cool. Put a little flower there, some stitching, some music paper, music collage with these teeny tiny little tags here. I forgot I had those. I'm going to have to use them some more, but they are adorable. I don't even know where I got them. Actually, maybe Michael's. Here's some tracing paper. This dictionary page I put through the copier or the printer and printed out a bicycle on it, and it turned out really cool. I really like that. Here is some vellum. I didn't do anything to that. It's pretty enough on its own. It's got some roses on it, and it's a little shimmery. One of the stitches, it looks like bows or flowers or pansies on my sewing machine. I thought that was really cool. Here is the whole song of Love's Dream After the Ball. Again, your love theme. If anybody plays the piano, This came out of an old antique piano book, music book. The whole song is there for you. And we have a little collage here. This is some of the scrapbook paper that I used at the very beginning of the book, except for I put some white paint over this because it was just a little harsh. So I softened it up a little bit with some fun fur here and some lace. And that is the first signature here. Is that the first one? Yeah. And I have some little danglies in the center of the signature I forgot to mention, with some beads on it that hang out from the bottom. So signature number 2. Again, we have a journaling card with a precious little vintage button with some lace. And there's some sewing on here. It's hard to see because of the paper, but it's the same stitch that's on here as well. I sewed that on. Another sweet little card with birds and burlap and a button. A book page. Here is the other part of that hanky, part of it anyway. It actually had a design on it, so I was able to use it here, but I still feel like I didn't do it justice. I don't know. I don't know why that bothers me so, but got some burlap and some lace, and then 2 laces over here on the back side. This is a really cool tag that I made. I can't remember who I saw doing this, putting some botanicals in between some stuff. It's gonna drive me crazy until I remember who did it. But so I just got a tag, and that is actually a weed. It's staying green, which is really nice. I backed this with some music paper and put some tracing paper over it and glued it in. And you can just, you know, ever so lightly see the little botanical in there. I thought that turned out so cool. I love that. A little pocket with some lace. A little collage here with some flower and some lace. More vellum journaling pages. Stamping. This is just a scrapbook paper pocket with an envelope, and you can tuck little things in there. I put a little lace collage and a button on there. There's some more of that vine stitch. A tag with some lots and lots of things on it. Stamping, collaging, lace, scrapbook paper. I think that music paper and a flower. And all of these that are held on by a paper clip have something going on at the top, either ribbon or a little dangle or a little flower, what have you. This envelope actually sewed on to the page. I didn't sew right there because of the lace, but I collaged some music paper and some ribbon. And this is actually a belly band. I just don't have anything in there right now. So you could put that in there. That might be too wide. And then you can put something inside the envelope. And then it's also one of these sneaky little pockets. A little hidden pocket with some lace on there. Some journaling spot. This is a love dream from some that same music book. I cut a really fussy cut chandelier out of some scrapbook paper. I don't remember which collection that's from, but this really pretty vintage button. I love that button with a little flower and some, I think this is some wedding lace on here and a book page. This is actually the book page from the book. This vintage lace is really cool. I love the way that that looks. Got some stamping, some more collaging, another vintage. That button could be antique. I don't know. It's really cool looking. I don't know how to age buttons or if anybody knows anything about buttons, but here's the center of the signature with a few little bubbles on the bottom, a tag with some layering. And that's actually held on by a little heart paper clip. A little rook card that I found along the way. I thought that was cute. It's definitely vintage. It's aged up. Not perfect, but I thought it was really cool. I like that the little bird was playing cards. I got a little a die cut thingy. Maybe it's not a die cut. What do you call these? I don't know. See, I lost my words. You know what they are. It makes holes and pretty impressions. but I've used this in the book some. I thought it was really cute. Here I sewed on these ribbons in that paper and glued them down, and I just left that like it is. It really killed me to leave it like that, but I did. Here is some music paper collage, a fabric tab with some bling that I sewed on. And then here's the tag with lots of stuff going on. It's got stamping, it's got music paper, book paper, scrapbook, fussy cut, some doily, or is that lace? I can't remember. And then 2 little flowers and some fun fur. This little flower I put on, just glued onto this cute little music note paper clip that I found. Oh, those were adorable. Beautiful scrapbook paper. Just look at because it's pretty. The fabric collage, some of that curtain, part of some other lace. This is actually the material that's on my pillows in my house on my sofa, and I have some more left over, so I wanted to use some of that. I sewed that on. Here's another collage with some Battenberg lace. Some of those little flowers, like papery flowers that you can get at Michael's, and some antique lace, and a sequin on the vellum. These are actually sewed lines on here that you can write on with some stamping. You can write on this side too with some more stamping there. A blank page with some sewing, a book page. This is another envelope, and I kind of grunged that up, put a little collage here, and put a little journaling card in there. You can close it and journal up here, put a picture up there, whatever you want to do. And that is signature number 2. Number 3, we've got this beautiful journaling card. I fussy cut out this bird from some scrapbook. I just love the little pop of yellow on that bird with that blue. And some music paper and some sewing, and I put some green and gold sequins on there just for fun. Here's another collage. Love this scrapbook paper. I'm going to have to remember what that is. That might be some Tim Holtz. I can't remember. Some more tracing paper with a collage. Some more of that scroll stamp thingy. I don't know why I can't think of what those are called. Here's a vintage or antique postcard. And I put a little collage on here with some sweet little lace and a really pretty antique-y, vintagey button. It's got some bling on it. So this pocket is a little poked out, so, you know, it's got some room in there, so that little button will go down in there. It's another collage, some stamping, some music. It's a little flower with some of that curtain. There's a little safety pin with like a little flag on it and some material and some bling. Hope y'all can see this okay. Bicycle stamp. This is actually a, it's from the Gifted line, and these are actually reproductions of some beautiful old pictures that they used to have, lithographs or whatever you want to call them. I don't know what the correct terminology is, but they have these out now, and every time I see them, I try to pick some of them up. This was an Easter pack, but I like these flowers. So you've got the envelope, and you've got the card if you want to use it, and a belly band, and just a little collage down here with a really cool button and some, I think I'm going to have to do this some more in one of my upcoming journals, but some flower petals as a tab. I think that was a really cute idea. Stamping, collaging, journaling. The middle of this signature, there's a couple little beads in there, a gold and a frosty blue. Some more journaling pages. I love this paper. That blue, I just love it. Here's a little playing card with some doggies on it that I thought was adorable. And I just attached it by some washi, and you can fold it over there. Here is another one of those dictionary pages that I ran through the printer and printed another bicycle on it with a little tab and a button. Some more journaling pages, tracing paper. Now this, I don't know if I don't think I've seen anybody else do this. I don't know where I got this idea from, but I punched holes in the paper and ran some twine and some fun fur through it and added a little bead there, a little pearl and a little pearl, or a bigger pearl down here. I just love the way it turned out. I actually like it better on this side. It just goes with that paper really good. I thought that was really fun and different. I hadn't really seen anybody do that. And some more of that scroll. Some more of my pillow and a collage and a tab. Journaling card. Actually has some bling on it. And some stamping. This has a butterfly in it, and it's actually supposed to be floating around in there, but it kind of went to the bottom, and it's got some sequins in there. So you could, it's behind tracing paper, so you could put a paper right here, and it's surrounding some fun fur. I kind of did, you know, a little shape out of it. We are on the very last signature. Oh my goodness, I'm at 31 minutes. I need to hurry up. Here's a little pocket. Some journaling page with some scroll. I love this paper right here, and I've just added a little bling right here with a tab. Another little tab in here. I mean a pocket with the journaling card with a tab. Some more of that bird napkin that I thought was cute. I love this collage here. I love navies and blues and whites. I think they look really pretty with some fun fur. And on the other side, just put some bling on it. Tracing paper. Here's another envelope, but this one is not attached. You can take this one out. And I've got it attached with this paper clip, and it's got a little notepad in it with another one of those transfers on there, I think from Tim Holtz, with some lace and some material. And on the envelope is the nest from that napkin that I had for those birds up in the front. And I think that's a little transfer too from Tim Holtz, and that's part of the napkin, but that's stamped. Some music paper, a little birdie collage on some music paper with some bling and lace. And I made this little paper clip with a little flower on it and some lace. I've seen a lot of people doing those cute little things, and so I wanted to try that. This is just a collage with some music paper, some lace, some Tim Holtz butterflies, and some material. We are at the middle of a signature, and I've got a vintage bead in here, which I thought was really cool. It's gold, and it's got ridges on it. Not that you can see it in there, but some music paper with a collage on it with a flower. Some journaling pages. This is tracing paper, and I made a pocket out of this. I don't know why I was so silly making a pocket on tracing paper. It's not heavy enough to hold anything, so it's really just for looks. And I had another little stitch on there, gone wild. This tag I love. It's so simple, but it's also pretty. I fussy cut out these butterflies out of Tim Holtz paper and glued those on a dictionary page that I glued onto the tag. There's another transfer of Tim Holtz. This was some really cool lace that I found at an estate sale. It's actually very white. I think it's part of that bridal lace. It's just crazy, and I wanted to use it somehow, so I kind of put some ink, distressing ink, on top of it so it wouldn't be so bright white, and put some music paper underneath it and did a little stamping there. Now these are buttons. These are not vintage, but I thought they were so cute. They look like little bitty baby roses. There's another page with the little hole punching on it, and a sweet little journaling card, or you know, whatever, with little doggies and some burlap and some lace and a button. And appropriately enough, on the last page I've put a train, like we're going away or going on a journey, and it's just got some more of that curtain material and some lace on there. And that is it, my friends. The back is the same as the front. It's the scrapbook paper with the lace. And I really hope that you have enjoyed this. Took me a really long time to do this, and a really long time to figure out when I was done. You know how that goes. just keeps going on forever. I don't want to hit 35 minutes, so I'm going to stop now. Thank you guys so much. Please like this video if you like junk journaling, if you like collaging, you know, and subscribe if you like. And go forth and junk journal and have fun. I hope you guys have a great week. Bye.